Ayanokoji was destroying all the classes behind the scenes before becoming class leader. But now that he's the leader of Class C, formerly Class A, we get to see the masterclasses he puts on not only to win the exam, but to prepare for the future exams. Before we talk about his exploits, we have to go into the exam details. It's a battle royale where the team with the most people surviving wins. The only difference is there are special roles who help turn the tides of the battle. First, the commander, who can stage EMP strikes, identify enemies, and locate enemies' positions. Their sole purpose is to give information. They don't go into battle. The second role is the VIPs. The class has to keep them alive in order to win. Then you have the scouts and analysts, which are less important, but they are basically there to gather food and detect enemies. The final role is the guards, who shoots the other team to get them out. The winning team has the most people and their VIPs alive. Now let's get started. Ayanokoji's first exploit was absolutely decimating Class C's morale. Yes, Class C is his own class. He took advantage of the fact that the commander he appointed was trash at his job, and so Class C got ambushed by Ryuin's class and suffered a hefty defeat. At first, I was surprised because I wanted Ayanokoji to do something in this volume. I know for a fact this guy can go to the other team's base and absolutely annihilate them. But instead, we get a crushing loss. So Ayanokoji's class retreats into the woods, where he snipes the people who trail them. Around 10 people from his class got out from this ambush, so they are now at a disadvantage. I failed to mention that right before this ambush, Ayanokoji mentioned an alliance with Ichinose class. Of course, the class didn't want anything to do with Ichinose class. They wanted to win, and helping the bottom feeder of Class D was not on their bucket list, especially since Ayanokoji wanted Ichinose class to win this exam. So flash forward to their crushing the defeat. It seems like Ayanokoji's class still has some pride left in them, because they still want nothing to do with their class. So what does Ayanokoji do? He suggests to the class that they fight a full-on war with Ryuin's class, despite their numbers disadvantage. Now who in their right mind would do something that suicidal? Well, he convinces the whole class to join him on the expedition. What kind of manipulation do you need to obtain to do that? So Ayanokoji marches his class to Ryuin's camp to weed out their numbers in his own class. This dude, like, what the hell? It's the same as having a Zaza or CC on your team. This guy is actively throwing the game. If I was in his class, I would be pissed. But of course his class loses and they desperately retreat. At this point, they're down to maybe 10 to 15 people left in their class, while the other classes have 25 to 40 people. So now his class is in a desperate position. And remember when I said he proposed the alliance before the ambush and the class vehemently rejected it? All of a sudden now it's like a come to Jesus moment. They all want a piece of Ichinose's alliance. They recognize now they're not fighting for first place anymore. They are fighting to not be in the last place. Suddenly, when you change your perspective, the alliance doesn't sound that bad anymore. So Ayanokoji takes his crew to meet Ichinose, and his first plan succeeds. Get his class to accept the alliance with Ichinose. If he proposes alliance under normal circumstances, he would be deemed a traitor and banished to the underworld. But since he created a situation of desperation, they all naturally accepted the alliance. Not to mention he also sacrifices the great jungle Amazoness Morishida in their war with Ryuin. Now his second exploit is to demolish Horikita's class, who have been playing passively this whole time. He alone runs to Horikita's base to take some people out. They give chase to Ayanokoji, but he rage baits them so hard that they shoot after the allotted time for paintballs, so he gets those scrubs out as well. But his main goal wasn't to annihilate Horikita's class, even though he sure as hell could have done it. He actually discovers all the VIPs in her class, so that during the final encounter between all the classes, every single class would know who her VIPs are to take her out of the equation. He is playing with his food. He also did something similar to Ryuin, where he literally capped himself on the amount of ammo he could use. He gave some paintballs to another classmate and went to fight Ibuki and Ryuin with 20 paintballs. The amount of disrespect on this guy is insane. He beats both of them, by the way. But before getting out Ryuin, he decided to play some mind games with him. He went to the beach where there's no cover from paintballs since he ran out of ammo for being a cocky dickhead, and played with Ryuin's balls like a fiddle. First, he convinced him not to shoot him, and second, that there was someone behind them. And once Ryuin turned around because he had the paintball gun that could shoot at any time, Ayanokoji threw a Shohei Ohtani pitch straight into his chest to get him out. The disrespect is insane. How do you manage to get gaslighted when you clearly have the upper hand, and then get out by someone who only has a half-broken paintball? At that point, you should probably just expel yourself. Leave. You don't belong here. Now, his last exploit is like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Do you remember his plan to demoralize his class and make them accept the alliance with Ichinose? Well, it turns out this exam wasn't even the uninhabited island exam. This was just another exam held on the island. So everyone who got out early, which is most people in Ayanokoji's class, are all refreshed for the real uninhabited island exam. And all the classes who had a bunch of people who stayed until the very end, scavenging the resources since you have minimal supplies, were in a bad shape for the next exam. That was also starting right away. So most people in Horikita, Ryuin, and Ichinose's class were all in bad shape. Who's laughing now because he secured 2nd place, got his class to accept the alliance, while also giving his class an advantage for the uninhabited island exam, where he can finally spend time with his girl Hiyori. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting like and subscribe, and if you want more, tell me in the comments below because I need to reread the other volumes since it's been a while. See you later.